And this is our 2017 vintage.
Sitting in his tasting room on the south side of Walla Walla, Billo Nerone opens a bottle of his 2017 Estate Syrah.
To me, is on point. So yeah, this is exactly what.
A bottle that earned a 96-point score by International Wine Report.
90 points and higher is kind of considered an A grade on a wine.
It's a score he says maybe 5% of wines can claim, yet
most of our wines are 95 points and above.
Making Rasa some of the best wine in Washington, which in some ways Billo credits his non-alcoholic drinking Indian immigrant parents.
My mom is ultra-conservative.
Well, sort of. Billo and his co-owner brother Pinto were born in India. Their parents moved to New Jersey when the boys were 6 and 8.
My dad coming over to the States initially, and then my mom
Immigrating to this country with a dream.
with Indian, traditional conservative Indian parents, Asian parents. I think many of them guide their kids towards technical paths, either medicine or science or mathematics or things like that, because the job prospects tend to be pretty good.
He was pretty good at math, too. First graduating from MIT, then Stanford, then landing a job in Silicon Valley, which just so happens to be 90 miles away from California wine country.
Our interest just kept building as consumers and then collectors and then super uber wine geeks towards the end of it.
After finding success in tech, Billo saw an opportunity, a chance to do what he wanted to do rather than what he should do.
Even though we're good at it, the jobs never brought us any fulfillment. That's not where our hearts were. Our hearts were in wine. But yeah, everything is done by hand.
So he went back to school to study viticulture or wine growing, which meant at 38 years old, he had to tell his mom and dad he was leaving the stable job they dreamed of.
We put you through MIT and Stanford, and now you're going to throw it all away to go make alcohol.
Despite the concerns, Rasa, which means essence in Sanskrit or juice for slang, was born in Walla Walla in 2007. At the time, the county was nearly 94% white, according to U.S. Census data.
I had this long black hair all the way to my waist.
Billo didn't just look different. He was sort of an outsider in an industry that's largely white.
In fact, Washington is home to more than 4,000 wineries, but any data on the industry has been more about the wine and less about the people. But that started to change in 2020.
I think it was a great inflection point for so many people and so many organizations.
The Washington State Wine Commission created the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Task Force led by Shyla Alfonso. She says their goal is to make wine more inclusive.
It's not just who's owning, but who's working in the tasting rooms, in the farms, and then are the people that are working in the farms, are they kind of moving their way up?
It's important because the consumer is also becoming more diverse, something Billo says he's seeing.
Probably about 30-40% of our business now is to minorities. So back in 2009, the minority set was probably around 5%, maybe 10%.
Back then, he says a lot of people in Washington were making wine because the fruit is some of the best. But he also says it's the scientist in him, rooted in that cultural push, that helped Rasa stand out.
If she was here right now, what do you think she would say to you?
I think she'd say that she's extremely proud of both me and my brother, even though she was uncertain of the career choice that we've made. She sees that we are genuinely extremely happy.